Fury isn't the only one you've sparred from, or the only British heavyweight you've sparred. We know you've sparred Anthony Joshua at Ben Davison's gym too. Can I ask the question that I think everyone would love to ask? If you can, who's the more difficult spar between the two?
I think I need to do more rounds with Fury.
Yeah. How many rounds have you done with AJ?
With AJ, I did the first camp also for Usyk fight, and this one I did also good rounds with him, many rounds. And different guy. Joshua is a really different guy between the second fight Usyk and this fight with Otto Allen. He's a different kind of fighter. Really, with Ben, he works very good, very powerful. You cannot make a mistake. If you do one mistake, your head is gone. Yeah.
So there's more like of a grit about Joshua, would you say?
Yeah, it's more risky. You know, you don't know if you do a mistake, your head gonna fall out. With Fury, you can do a mistake. Maybe you will get punched or embarrassed. Yeah, he can dance with you and make you look like a kid, but it's not so powerful. It's a different types of a fighter.
Those are the words of Argron Smakici. Okay, I think that's the right pronunciation. And Argron, he was asked a question, a very good question. You know, how is it like to spar both guys, AJ and Tyson? And to be fair, I think it was non-biased. I think he kind of gave a little smile, a little grin, because he knew that question, you know, was kind of depending on how he answers it. Okay. I got another video about Tyson, and I know he wants to go back to Tyson's camp. So, you know, he has to be careful on how he words it and what he decides to, you know, say about Joshua and Tyson. Because, you know, Tyson at times he can get a little moist. You know what I mean? You know, he will get offended on, you know, especially when you start comparing, you know, AJ to himself. So he had to be careful. But he did say, and the reason I think it was non-biased, because I think he said he did want more time. He wanted more time with Tyson. So, you know, that was a good thing to say. I need more time to spar Tyson to see how he is. But AJ, I know, because I've been with him for the second Usyk fight in preparation, because, you know, we've seen him, you know, and those guys after sparring, and, you know, they're doing their, you know, their pose and all that stuff after sparring, and, you know, they've just given each other the business, no homo, right? So I think I think he knows AJ, but he also knows that AJ is a different animal. He's a different fighter. And he added that, hey, he's a different fighter with Ben Davison versus, of course, Derek James, because that's who was training. No, I'm sorry, Robert Garcia. Robert Garcia. So he was a different guy between Robert Garcia and Ben Davison. He looked a lot powerful, and if you make a mistake, that could be that. So definitely the power edge goes to AJ. Now, as far as the trickery and the boxing and the footwork, okay, that belongs to Tyson Fury. You know, like he said, he'll make you look bad. Yeah, but, you know, I'm not worried about this shot coming from left field and hurting me like that. But remember, this is sparring, and they do have headgear. So you have to take that into account. They do have headgear. So that kind of cushions some of those punches. But then it just shows you, since they're both, he has two sets of headgear on with in Fury's camp and in Joshua's camp, and they're both punching, and he still says that about AJ, says a lot about AJ's punching power. Okay? But I have to keep it real. You know how I always do. He looked really good against Otto Wallin, but then here's the thing. Otto Wallin was not Alexander Usyk. Okay? So you have to take that into account. We have to make that very, very clear. Styles make fights, and Otto Wallin versus Alexander Usyk. No, absolutely not. I think Usyk is maybe an inch shorter than Otto Wallin, and I don't see that fight for him going well. It would be a jabbing match, but I see Usyk dancing all around Otto Wallin. As tricky as he may be for his size, because I think he's 6'5". He might be 6'5". Maybe he looks a little bit like 6'4", because he was definitely shorter than AJ, and AJ's, what, 6'6"? So, you know, I still see two different southpaws there. And it's like probably like that in levels. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So I see levels to those guys, between those guys. Otto Wallin is not Alexander Usyk. Okay, so I kind of felt it. I seen it was very interesting on how he explained AJ versus Tyson Fury, and I'll say that people now are respecting AJ's power again. And I think that's very important for other fighters as well, not just the bandwagon of people, but the other fighters that fight him, like him. He's sparring him, and he knows I can't mess up because I'll mess around, headgear or not. I can still get knocked out. So, yeah, that could happen. You know what I mean? You can get knocked out with headgear. But obviously with Tyson, he didn't have that type of worry or that type of concern. But he's getting that reputation again, and I think that'll help other fighters. And if it don't, it should, because if it don't, people are going to get knocked out. There's a reason why Otto Wallin quit on that stool, because eventually, he was going down. He was going down, and that would have been bad, bro, because they stopped it. Joey Gamache stopped that fight simply because he knew, nope, something's broke on my fighter. My fighter ain't got a fair shake. His chances of winning this fight is slim and none. No. Hell no. Let's call the fight. And then comes happen, he had a fractured eye and a broken nose. So, no, they did the right thing. But I think people should understand what happens. I was just waiting for fights that I want to happen didn't happen, because everybody talks about other fighters, and I'm not even saying any names, that have big or good punching power. But understand, AJ is a reason why his record is the way it is to this day. Look at the knockout percentage, and the knockouts speak for themselves. But you guys tell me what you think about Argron Smakici saying that it's different, or showing the differences between Tyson the Gypsy King Fury and Anthony Joshua. Of course, please subscribe, and you guys been Counterpunch.